Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor program. In today's video I'd like to follow up on the 3-minute YM. This is a 3-minute chart of the YM, the mini Dow in the USA, following on from the comments we made in yesterday's training webinar. The training webinars we hold on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 to 11:30 in the USA. And at that time we were looking at the setups that were unfolding on the YM at this particular point in time. Some comments I was actually saying at the time is that I was anticipating yesterday, which was March the 2nd, to be a sideways and choppy day. I've zoomed out on the chart here, and the reason for this is because the prior day, which was a huge down day as you can see here, is that after a big move you tend to get a day that chops sideways and just moves in a narrow range. And as you can see, well, that's exactly what unfolded. Is we had a big day the day before, and then yesterday basically chopped sideways in a sort of narrow range day, and that's what we're talking about in the webinar. So when this TS4 setup came on, I suggested that we might well actually have a choppy day, so the market might not run a long way. First we got an attempt at the high here, which as you can see was stopped out for a -1 hour loss. As we all know as professional traders, losses can and do unfold. Any software vendor who doesn't mention losses is not a trader themselves, because they don't understand how the market unfolds. The key is keeping the losses small. So on this first setup we would have had a -1R, what we call -1 risk unit. In other words, in this case $350, because our position sizing would have kept the risk under 2% of our $20,000 sample account. So we started off with a -1R loss. However, we then had a second bite at this high here, and the next trade came in at approximately the same level. But as you can see here, the YM actually went down to the first target very nicely, where potential 6R profit was available. Now that's the key to successful position sizing, in that when we had a loss it was kept small at -1R, and here when we have a profit it was actually large at 6 times that, or +6R. For those of you who are standard traders, you'll notice that when we got to this level we were just about a tick away from that level there, or just about touching it at that level there. You'll see that the STF was strong. Now normally I'd suggest when the STF is strong we then swap to the ATR stop, which is here. So this would have actually given us a plus 3.2R trade, which is a good trade anyway. So plus 3.2R is still much greater than the -1R loss earlier. However, for the more advanced traders among you, and this is why in the webinar I was suggesting that it was going to be a sideways choppy day, because the day before was a big move, and when you get sideways choppy days it's very unlikely that the market's going to keep on going in your direction. In other words, it's very unlikely that you're going to get 2 big days back to back. So therefore, rather than looking to use the ATR stop to run this trade further, which is the standard management guidelines, it would have been better to actually know that we were in a choppy sideways day, which is what we told everyone at the time, and as such look to bank this 6R profit and say thank you very much. But either way, whether you took our advice and knew it was going to be a sideways choppy day and took the 6R profit, or you used the standard trade management guidelines and came out at plus 3.2R, either way the profit was much larger than the -1R loss, and overall you're up on those 2 trades. We then had a second trade a bit later here, a TS1 sell. If I put the analysis on, you can see again this was in the direction of the STF. The STF was basically red or black all day, so we're basically on the downside most of the day. Although we didn't get down to the first target here, again you shouldn't really be you shouldn't be surprised about that, because again we said it was going to be a choppy day, which was going to be hard work. At the very least you should have had your stop at break even, particularly when the market had got down to a potential plus, well, 2.9, that's almost plus 3R profit. So, once you're this far into a trade, you really want to have your stop at the very least at break even. But was there anything the more advanced traders among you could have done? Well, if we clear the chart off, and now I go to the advanced chart analysis, and if I look at the minor waves here, so I select minor, I choose swing high or low, I come down to this pivot here. Can you see that the MTPredictor software program has found a minor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the low at the typical wave 5 WPT. We also look at this bar here, which was a high volume spike. Can you see that? It's a high volume spike. So when you get a high volume spike at a WPT, particularly at the end of an impulsive swing like 5 waves, odds on you're going to get a correction at the very least, if not the end of the trend, and it's going to reverse. So at the very least on this particular trade, you could have actually moved your stop down to just above this wave 4 high. So had your stop just above this wave 4 high, so that was about 0.9 of an R, or approximately 1R profit. So at the very least this should have been break even, but the more experienced traders among you could have put the Elliott waves on and looked at this high volume spike and noticed that you were going to get a reversal, and as such brought your stop a little bit closer, particularly on a day, as we said, that was going to be choppy and sideways and horrible, to put approximately 1R profit in the bank after another 6R profit here. It really does make up for this small minus 1R loss here. So even though yesterday was actually a choppy sideways day, as we can see the market just did literally go sideways in a small range, MTPredictor did a very good job of identifying this high here and getting us in a nice trade, and then getting us another trade here, and then helping us manage that trade there. And even when the market reversed up here again, if we look at the decision point from this prior high, just look where this rally stopped, right at our DP resistance area. So again, the tools in the MTPredictor software program were doing a good job and helping you identify the swings and the turns in the market, and even using the automatic setups, it would have been a good day yesterday, particularly with this plus 6R trade from, well, what was the high of the day into what was the low of the day. So even though a choppy day, a good result overall for MTPredictor and MTPredictor users.